Welcome to the live hobby of ours. I am your host, D, and I am very pleased to be celebrating my friend's book release today. His name is Scott from Watchistry. I dare call him Mr. Marine Nationale, if not the author and the chief collector. Speaking about these amazing brands over the years, he is no stranger to the publishing world. The vintage ZRC book is his. The original Marine Nationale book is his. Shout out TGV from Urban Gentry. That is where I first learned about this amazing tome. And today, the reason we're going to have him back on the program is indeed this one, the Marine Nationale Registre. Without further ado, please, by all means, let us give a round of applause for my good friend Scott, bringing back to the stage. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, D. It's a pleasure to be here and excited to talk with you today.
Dude, you probably can't tell because we're only in 1080p, but I got goosebumps. I'm so excited to have you here, dude. So excited. Let's kick it off with that most noble of actions. What are you wearing, my good man? What are you wearing? What do you got on wrist, sir?
I've got a Doxa diving star. It's Marine Nationale issued. And of course, I've got it on my NDC straps, which is a limited collaboration with Watchistry.
Yeah,
I believe
awesome.
Maybe
I bet that's going to be I'm going to show you in a second. Shout out to our good friend Jacko at ndcstraps.com. Jacko, I put it into our chat. If you want to come on the program later after we do the majority of our presentation, you'd be welcome to, sir. I want to give a quick shout out to Jackie, who is the diamond of Doxa and a friend of the channel. I don't know if you've met Jackie. She's the North American brand director for Doxa. She's also a friend of the channel and has also been subjected to one or more of my live stream episodes. So shout out to Jackie. Hope you're doing well, girl, wherever you are. I am, of course, representing the N, the D, and the C. NDC Straps, the only original maker of Marine Nationale straps of that beautiful, soft, supple material parachute. And I am, of course, wearing my Tudor FXD LHD MOD by D and Friends. Of course, well documented on this channel that Hobby of Ours was the very first progenitor, maker, modifier of this watch to be left-hand drive. Of course, a shout out is appropriate to Adrian Barker, who first introduced the FXD way back in the day. I can't make a claim to fame without giving him a shout out because he first flashed up a picture of the actual Marine Nationale issued left-hand drive version of this watch, which of course gave me the idea that, hey, I could probably do it myself. And sure enough, me and my buddies sorted it. But of course, there is no better strap to put it on than an NDC strap. Proper dive watch, proper dive strap, ndcstraps.com. That is my gift to Jacko. He hasn't adopted it as a logo saying phrase yet, but I'm dying for him to do so. And I will promise not to charge him any royalties. I am a little hopped up on caffeine, but I'm also very excited to have you here, Scott. I did a quick tour de force of the books you have published thus far. I've got this one nicely poised here. Why don't you, I'm going to switch views to you. Why don't you pull up the one you're holding so anyone viewing can get a better look at it.
This one, right?
Front and center. There it is. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And those are available on Amazon.com.
Amazon. Yes, okay. Amazon. It's the first, this and Marine Nationale, the first volume. Both available on Amazon, which turned out really well to get it in people's hands relatively easy.
Yeah, it's pretty rad because Amazon is everywhere. And all right, hold on, there we go. Oh, Jacko, you know we love you. We love you, brother. Oh, you love the phrase. All right, this is first confirmation that he likes the phrase. Jacko, I don't know if you've seen all the episodes I say it in, but anytime your strap appears in an episode, I'm quoting my own catchphrase for you. It is absolutely yours to use. Please put it on the website, sir. Please put it on the website. So we have already done the formal review of the book. Even though you are a friend, I always go hard in the paint when it comes to a book review if it didn't have my core elements, which is excellent multiple photographs, excellent history and the deets, the references, etc. None of this full 2-page stuff that makes a copy book, but actual information we as collectors can use if we want to go on a hunt. Now, it is totally okay to put up some big, broad images, but I want something I can use. And that's why this book is such a solid, entry into the Hobby of Ours Horological Society bookshelf. But also, we are giving one away today, aren't we, my friend?
We are.
Scott has generously sponsored this episode with a giveaway, as we like to do. And if you're watching this stream and it's live, the funny thing is only someone who is live in the stream can enter to win. So you have to comment in the stream in order to be registered. So don't be shy. And I will give you the phrase that pays at the end after we've gone on a wee bit of a journey with Scott as to, what it was like to make this book. But I do want to kind of isolate the, potential winner pool. I don't know, to someone who showed up on a Sunday afternoon and shared some time with us. So that is the goal. But I will keep on yapping if I don't shut myself up. Scott, please, the floor is yours. Tell us about your journey. If you want to involve the first one, that's cool. If you want to talk about this one, and I'm really keen to learn more about it. Before we jump in, I just want to show HP, definitely an excellent viewer of the channel. You are, but we can't give one away to Jacko. He's one of our buddies. So HP, if it's no one else, you might win by default, sir. So you are in. We've got another. All right, we got competition. David's in. Outstanding. All right, so it usually takes people a few minutes to shuffle in, but once we get a few more in there, I'll yap again. But I'm gonna zip my lip. The floor is yours, sir. Tell us all about the book and the journey.
Yeah, thanks again, Dee. So about 5 years ago is when the original Marine Nationale book was released, and that was 34 watches, all in my own collection. And it was a lot of fun to put that together and tell the story of the Marine Nationale watches. And in particular, one of the forms of provenance for the Marine Nationale watches was this Registre. And for the full story is told in the first Marine Nationale book. But basically, there was a watchmaker about 100 yards from the Toulon Naval Base. His name was Yves Pastre. And when the MN needed their watches serviced, they would take them over to Yves Pastre's workshop, drop them off. He would service them. And in the course of servicing, he would note down the model, the make, the serial number of the watch, and then most importantly, which unit or submarine or commando unit or vessel the watch was issued to. And after Yves Pastre passed away, that booklet of his, that Registre, on the title, it actually says Registre. It's French. I don't speak French, so I'm gonna mispronounce any of the French, but I'll call it Registre. But that Registre ended up in private collector hands, and now it's an invaluable resource for anybody wanting to potentially authenticate one of their Marine Nationale watches. But what was so compelling about the Registre that Yves Pastre had was there were just so many watches in it. And I kind of had this idea. I'm like, wow, I wonder what if we could put together, with all of the collectors around the world of MN watches, what if we could put together kind of a reverse registry, right? Like if we can kind of crowdsource it, put it together, and it would be amazing to see the lives that each of these watches has lived, right? Because as we know, sure, maybe they got a couple, maybe they bought 1,000 Tudor 94010s, and maybe they all look the same day one, but then they have to experience different lives, different parts of the world. Like it'd just be beautiful to see that mosaic of bringing them together, right? Yeah. And so that idea kind of marinated for a while, and I had wanted to be doing a second book, and I thought about it for a while. I think at some point I was like, you know what, I just have to kick this off, just get it started. And I think that first step is often the hardest, but I just put it out there. And the way it materialized was I put up a form on my website that said, hey, I want to put together this book that is going to be as encyclopedic as possible. If you've got a Marine Nationale issued watch, send me these following pictures what you know about the watch, and I'll put it in the next book. And I did that about 18 months prior to the release of this book. And it started off strong, and then it took a pause in terms of the number of submissions, kind of held at around 70 or so for a while. And then right up towards the end, it really started to kick off as I was on Instagram and said, "Hey, last call, for real,
get off your couch."
Call, right?" And I ended up collecting 175 issued and watches from 75 different collectors from around the world.
Wow.
And just like this, the thickness of this is the kind of says it all for me, when compared to like the original one, which was just 30 watches, but 30 watches of my own, you can see here with the story. But and this one is a bit tighter on the stories. It's more like these are specific examples and what happened or what this one looks like. So for example, there's 60 Tudor Submariners in here, right?
And the unique thing is it's not just Tudor's story. I think when I first went through your original book that I've had for many, many moons at this point, I was surprised because I always thought it was a Tudor story, but it's not. There's a bunch of other brands. All right, HP, you missed the we'll do one more. We're going to do we'll do another one for HP. He is a fan of the channel, a follower of the channel. Do another wrist check for him.
Yeah.
He didn't get to see your diving star. It's pretty epic.
Doxa diving star. You get that yellow. The diving stars have that characteristic yellow dial. This one was issued to the Marine Nationale. It's I mean, and of course it's on the NDC strap. That was a collaboration with Watchistry. Got the little Watchistry logo here.
Yeah, Jackie says hello. She wrote me back because I chatted her that it was no worries, HP. You're always welcome. It's always fun to show off some Doxa love. But that is and that's at the cornerstone of my education pathway, using your books to educate myself. It was vastly more than Tudor. In this modern book, we're going to see some of the photos from in there, and we got Breitling, we've got a couple brands I clearly can't remember the name of, and we've got some other ones in there too, which is it speaks to the diversity of what was used, and that if we didn't have the collector community and that one dude. And of course, now you're bringing it forward, marching it forward. It's an amazing thing to be able to pull those things together and have them as a resource marching forward, right?
Yeah, it's and it's just a great privilege to have the community trust me to do this because I think at the time I made Marine Nationale, it was a little bit, just the community at that time was like, I don't know that they were gatekeepers. There were some great people sharing the information they had. So for example, Jason Graham from Sweeping Hand, it was like a original OG in the MN collector space. Of course, Ross Povey of Tudor Collector, so much knowledge shared. But I think it would have been a little bit of a wild proposition to say, hey, send me all your serial numbers of your prized watches.
Send me the serial numbers and all of your watches and where you live. And I'll promise to feature you in the
So I actually look back and I think that in a way, Marine Nationale, the first book had to happen first to say, hey, I'm going to try and do right by this subject, right? Build up the trust and then come back. And I think the community has answered, which was just really awesome because you just put it out there and they showed up.
And on that note, we have a kind of a mutual friend in common. I've become friends with Zaf from Classic Watch because I've been reviewing his books, and I'm hoping, Zaf, if you're watching this, I hope to get you in the program. We'll probably feel a lot like this interview with Scott, but Scott's the one who introduced me to your work. And it was originally in context of, hey, if you wanted to go try and find a Tudor Marine Nationale, where on earth would you look? And you pointed me to him, and I've just been enjoying his books as well. So it's a small world, but I'd sure hate to paint it. So it's great that community is there. So I do have some not quite scalpel questions for you, but just curiosities for me. Lee, I'm wearing the FXD watch, sir. But I'm dying to hear a little bit about, okay, so when you first put that form out there, you were basically, the idea had been incubating and you got to the point where, you know what, I'm doing this, I'm just doing this. How far between there and getting your first proof edition of this? Did you say it was 18 months? Did I understand that?
18 months. And even the form itself, just for those that, you know, may want to try something similar, right? I think it kind of works. Like I was caught up for a long time. I had probably 3 or 4 months, it just spinning my wheels before I put the form out there about exactly how to do it. Because I was trying to, could people upload the photos all in one? And that just became too complicated. And then I said, you know what, I'm just going to start simple and see what happens. And it was basically a Google form. You didn't have to log in, you know, and then it kind of had the necessary copyright licenses to their photos. So I wanted to do right by them. And then also they had to follow up with, you know, don't forget to email me the photos, kind of an offline process. So like 18 months later, a lot of time, there was a lot of time spent trying to marrying up the photos with the actual form submitter, right? And that was probably one of the harder parts. And it happened, but I spent a lot of time. And then of course, there was so much enthusiasm that some people would just send me the photos without filling out the form. And I would have to gently nudge them up, like, I really do need you to fill out the form.
Real quick, need some information here.
Yeah, so I can really properly attribute you, you know. So a good number wanted to remain anonymous, and that's cool. And then a healthy number also put their Instagram profiles. So in a way, I've kind of created a catalog. If you want to reach out to any of these folks, you know, and know more about their watch, now you know where to
hunt them down. We have a quick question from HP asking, how rare are the original watches? I don't think you're going to see one on eBay, brother. I think that you're going to be looking at more or less classicwatch.com is our #1 trusted source. Maybe something will pop on Chrono, but I'll defer to Scott to see where he did it.
I'd say they're fairly rare. I mean, you know, in terms of the numbers, I mean, so you think about in my book, which is, you know, some small section of that, there's 175, not counting the 34 of mine that are in the first volume, right? So there's like 200 or so right there. There's obviously more than that, but you know, I think how many are actually out there in the wild? You know, I think I would guess maybe it's 2 or 3x that, you know, of actually how many. And they're fairly rare.
They're probably in an old desk drawer in Provence somewhere, in the backwoods of France. I think that if Scott were to sponsor a trip there, I would be happy to carry his bags, because he needs a garçon to carry bags when he's going door to door saying, hey, do you have any Marine Nationale watches here? Oh,
well, I mean, that's how, what's really great is that you're right. These watches are sitting in drawers in the region, right? And because one, they were just tools. They were just stuff that, you know, Grandpa carried home from the Navy and just kind of end up in a drawer. And so one great story, an example of that is in the book. There's a ZRC Grand Sfon's watch in there with Tudor hands on it, right?
Ooh.
Yeah. And so
ZRC for reference.
Yeah. And so like, thank you. So in the Marine Nationale, like there's actually a ZRC, and I'll just flip to that.
Let me feature you.
And what's great about this, so these are Tudor snowflake hands on a ZRC. That was done by the Marine Nationale, Yves Pastrate in particular. He had parts. He's like, hey, we need some new hands on this watch. What I got laying around, boom, done. Get back in the field, right?
Yeah.
This watch, and you can see actually here, this is on the inside of the watch. Yves Pastrate serviced this watch like at least 6 times. Ooh. And these are his little chicken scratches in here.
Yeah.
And that's part of that history. So this was found, that particular watch was found at an estate sale in the region of south of France, along with another one that's also in the book too. And that's pretty much as found state. So yeah, you're absolutely right. These things are still out there. and they're coming to light. And I love it when it comes to light. That's how it left the MN.
Gosh, that's so trippy. That is just, could you imagine going to the flea market in France, in Paris? You've got your croissant in one hand, you've got your backpack with a baguette and a bottle of wine, and just sifting through old toasters, and you find a $30,000 watch. Couple quick questions, and then I kind of want to show some of the since you did a nice zoom up there, maybe we'll show some pictures from the book. From Chris. What up, Chris? Good to see you. Based on your research, do you feel there's a definitive watch between each branch of those militaries? Because I know that you have the Marine Nationale Navy side, but you also have brigades from the pilots of the Navy side, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to so I've really focused on, and thank you for the question, I've really focused on the Marine Nationale, and the Tudor Submariner's hands down the representative watch for them. But of course, as Dee mentioned, there's 20, 30 brands that they might have used. Yeah. And just the Tudors get all the fame. For the other branches, for the Air Force, the brigades, the Type 20s would definitely be that. And then on the Army side, I think the Armée de Terre Bianchi watch is probably one of the more famous on the French Army. It's a great diving watch too. It's beautiful.
I have a buddy who's a Navy SEAL, retired in the US, and he joined the SEAL teams just after they stopped issuing Rolexes. My buddy got a G-Shock.
And there's G-Shocks, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
didn't get the Rolex, but he got the G-Shock.
I mean, that's a lot of the modern units these days. They are using these digital tool watches. And actually, I initially had some reticence to putting in G-Shocks in my first book, but
really?
I did end up putting 2 in the first book. And then when I got around to this book, there's a healthy number of Casio G-Shocks in the end, as well as Timex Ironmans. And the engravings on them are fascinating. They're not just uniform. There's one-offs in there that's covered in the book. One issued to an aircraft carrier, the Charles de Gaulle, and then another one issued to a demining unit. In addition to the more commonly seen G-Shocks that are issued to just the Toulon base, but we don't know much more than that, right?
Yeah, we'll take one more question before some of the innards of the book. Lee's asking, Scott, is there a piece you still want to add to your collection? He is admittedly hoarding watches. I haven't gotten around to trying to spring one loose from him yet, but is there one you're on the prowl for and not just gathering unto oneself?
I think I've pretty much seen all of them and have the ones I want. But, in terms of if there was one that I didn't have, there is a brigade. It's actually a chronograph, Montre de Bord. It's something you'd hold in your hand. In the book, I have one. It's actually a Hamilton that looks very similar, but there's a brigade version of that. So it's like it's kind of a deep cut.
A little bit. Yeah, because if you would have said another wrist-bound brigade, I would have protested because I know he has 2 from the first book.
This is actually the watch, right? I'm talking about. So it looks almost identical, including the same box and everything. It would just say brigade instead of Hamilton. They're out there, but yeah, that's it. But for a while there was mention of watch brands in the register that I'd never seen, and one of those was Aquastar. So Aquastar was mentioned in the register, and I was like, wow, I don't even know what model Aquastar would be in there. And at the time I wrote the first book, I hadn't yet even seen. It wasn't clear what model they were referring to. Since that first book, the Benthos 2 has surfaced. 2 examples, both of which are in this book. So, and one's mine, one belongs to another collector, and that's a really cool dive watch. It's got a uniblock case, so basically everything comes in from the top.
From the top, right?
Yeah, and so and it was used by these deep sea divers. So
that's brilliant.
That was a grail
absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, so just before we switch to the quick kind of couple slides we got to share, reminder, we are doing a giveaway. Scott has sponsored this video by doing a giveaway, and only those of you who are here in the live chat with us are eligible. So congratulations on coming into the chat. I will give you the phrase that pays towards the end, so by all means stick around. I wanted to show some extra appreciation to those of you who come along for the ride during the actual live stream. I certainly appreciate anyone who's watching it downstream, I guess, but having the interaction with viewers is key, and it's a ton of fun. And so the giveaway is going to be, if you're in the chat, I have record of you. What I'll do at the end is I'll give you the phrase that pays. All you have to do, if you're interested in winning this book, you'll just drop me a comment, and then we'll do a drawing for you. But without further ado, let us take a quick sneak peek, if we can, of your book, Getting Up in Its Business. This is his landing page. I had a bit of fun with it, and I dropped in his 3 books. That I love me a little bit of Photoshop. If I had a full Photoshop license, Scott, I would be dangerous. So I wanted to have a bit of fun. And we're going to kick it off with some imagery that was cornerstone to the first book, but also makes a reappearance in this one. This is your collection. I'll let you take it from here, and then you can, lead me through the slides, sir.
Great. Thank you, Dee. So again, this comes from the first book, the Marine Nationale book. These are the 34 watches covered in this first book. These all are in my collection, the fronts and the backs, so you can get a sense of just like the variety of colors, brands, styles that the Marine Nationale used. This is just a sampling. It's not by means, exhaustive. I think, and of course the engravings on the back, which is part of so much of the history and the allure of the watches, that they tell part of their story they carry it, on their case back. Right?
Yeah, so they carry that provenance, and it's an amazing thing to think of. You kind of hinted at it earlier when you were talking about they may have all left the factory in the same condition, but based on their life, they certainly did not stay that way.
No, and to your point, if you look down the last 2 Tudors on, I guess the 5th row down.
Okay, so row 5.
Yeah, the
watches
blue,
1 and 2.
Yeah, they're daggers and dots configurations. One is a blue dial, and the one to the right is a black dial. Those watches have 2 serial number digits apart. Like one's 63117, the other's 63119, something like that.
Same day watches.
But they took very different lives. And the one's blue, right? Blue dial. One's black dial. One has the traditional Mercedes hands. The other has a lollipop hour hand, right? One ended up in the south of France and was serviced by Yves Pastre. Right. The other went to the north and was part of a commando unit, right? So it's just like I happen to know that because they were so close together, right?
Yeah.
And the lives they lived is so different. So there's just so much there. And then, this was the cornerstone. And then I wanted to see, okay, where are all the rest of them now? And why don't you send me some photos of your watches, as well as whatever you may know about it. And there were different, some people knew everything about their watch. Others didn't know anything about the history, and we were able to connect some dots for them. And that became the Registre. I named it Registre as a nod to Yves Pastre and his original Registre, and kind of use this kind of, weathered paper look, because as we'll see later in the photos, the actual Registre was this old paper book, and you can get copies of a given page.
It's almost like a watch diary, for the lack of a better term. That fellow, thanks, buddy. You preserve such history, and it's, for me, that's the charm and the appeal, and frankly the romance of vintage watches, is wondering where it was before it came to me. There really ought to be a movie about it. I would certainly go and watch it. But I wanted to go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and that's particularly why French Navy watches were most interesting to me in the beginning, because it wasn't just that you would find out it's a military watch, but you could know much more. It was used by this commando unit, or it came in for service these 5 times, and here's exactly what was done each time. I mean, that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
So,
So what I've done, just to give you guys a sense, the viewership a sense, I have had the book on hand for a while. Scott sent me some of the digital images, kind of cherry picking something. So I chose kind of a smattering to demonstrate the vast variance of what's included in here. So the images you're about to see, there's only a couple slides going through, but some unusual variety, if I may say, between what was issued and all these people coming out of the woodwork to share the history. But yeah, so it's so just dive on in here. We got a Longines.
Yeah, here's a Longines, and you know, I tried to this is a great looking example. The patina on it is fabulous. It's got these blued steeled hands. The loom and the hands is totally darkened. What's cool about these is that they're kind of like triple stamped, right? So on the back, it says MN for Marine Nationale. 1436 is which is individual assignment number. Then you can kind of see on the back of one of the lugs, it's also stamped with 1436. So if the case back came apart during service, you can get it right back to where it's supposed
right back to it.
And then on the inside of the case back, it also says 1436. So it's just really cool stuff. And then what's great about these is we don't have it for this one, but you can get kind of an extract from Longines based on the serial number of the movement. And Longines is awesome in terms of providing those.
Wow, good on them. So call me V. I'll get to your question once we get to the Tudor. So hang in with me. This one is a brand I knew nothing about, Triton. Kind of cool watch, to be fair.
Yeah, very cool. It was a contemporary of the original Submariner, and it was actually more expensive than the Submariner back at the time.
What?
But yeah, it had this really cool articulating lug at the 12 o'clock position, which you can see here in the photo 5. It's also got this pretty unique crown design. It's called a Parmentier style crown, where that crown is actually an outer cap that comes completely off the watch, and then you can access the actual crown to wind or change the time of the watch.
Dang, that's fairly cool.
Very cool, but very prone to losing the cap, right?
I imagine.
And it doesn't, you know, you've seen some of those old watches that have the chain from the cap to the fan, right? Yeah. This has no chain. So most of these do not have their original crown stem. This is a very rare example to preserve it. And in fact, in my original Marine Nationale book, there is a Triton, and it has, and I'll show you here, like it has a little bit of a different crown on it. And this is the one I own.
Let me switch you out. Go ahead.
Right in there.
Yeah.
It might be a little hard to see, but that's a Rolex crown.
Right? Oh, it is?
It's a Rolex crown. And the reason is, as I mentioned, those watches, those caps come off and you lose them, and then you can't go in the water with them. And if you're a diver, that's a problem. So it's a very common replacement to throw out that stem and put in a Rolex triplock crown.
Wow, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. That's a unique piece. That's fairly gorge.
And just if you come back real quick to the previous one. It's like, so at photo 6 is a photocopy of a page of the original Registre, right? Eve's Registre. And if you can kind of see down in the bottom half of that, it says Triton 156, and it was issued to D'Estres, which was a French destroyer. And so this is how we can tie that back to the watch.
The original. Oh, wow. That's pretty amazing, dude. And so this is the watch. Is this your Doxa?
No, it's not. Actually, prior to this, I really hadn't seen another. I mean, I knew they were out there, but I hadn't really seen another one up close and personal. And this was one of the watches submitted by Jatuchka, I think that's how he says it. Great collector, has a ton of watches, and then also a number in the book. But this was really unique for a couple of reasons. Like, he was a little bit unsure about this watch. He's like, I don't know. I've never seen one like this from the MN, because typically you wouldn't see MN engravings that say MN 73. The earliest you typically would see was like MN 74. And that's on the Tudors when they really started doing this, like MN and then the year. And so it was a little bit of like, this is interesting. I'm not sure. It's kind of cool. And I said, well, have you opened up the inside of the case back and looked for these Yves Pastre watchmaker inscriptions? He's like, no, I haven't. Let me check. And then it was like striking gold, right?
Oh, right on.
Serviced by Yves Pastre, I think 3 or 4 times. And you can see some of the initials down in figure 5. So it was really great to discover that together. And if he wants, he can go and find out a bit more about what this watch was, which unit this watch was actually issued to. Here's a Tudor, also from Jatuchka. This is an MN74, and it comes with what we call a decommission paper. And this one, you can see there, basically when it left the French Navy at an auction, this paper would typically accompany the watch. And this one was assigned to like kind of a submarine base protection unit out of Lorient. Right?
Wow. So we got we had a question earlier from Call Me V. I wanted to save it because I knew this page was coming. He was saying he thought the MN Tudors are always blue, not the case, clearly.
No. Yeah. It's actually, I think many, the iconic one is the blue dialed Tudor Snowflake, but the black is also out there. And I think some people feel the black dials are a little bit more uncommon. But black and blue and different dial configurations. Like this is a pretty uncommon dial variation to see on an MN. But again, these were just civilian watches that were procured by the Marine Nationale. So like whatever Tudor had on stock at that time, that's what they got, whether it's, lollipop hands or the snowflakes for later.
Oh, right on. And then we're capping it off with a rather unusual piece. You'll see information about this piece on this slide and the next. Rolex Comex.
Yeah, this is, there's not many Rolexes that are associated with the Marine Nationale, not many that I know. And this one was really special because it linked up Marine Nationale with Comex, right? And Comex is this very, very famous professional diving unit out of France. And back in the days, the 60s, 70s, they were at the forefront of exploring how to help support this deep sea diving. These are the divers that are down there for weeks working on underwater construction, that sort of thing. And so they would have these joint Comex Marine Nationale missions for where they would push the limits of how deep could we go. Sometimes it was actually deep in the water, and other times it was simulated depth in these compression chambers. Anyway, this watch belonged to J.G. Marcel Auda, who was a Marine Nationale diver who was part of this team. So before we leave this slide, if of course, it's got the Comex on the dial, which is awesome. People love those. They go nuts for them because it's kind of issued to Comex by Rolex. And that's already awesome enough. But then you open up the inside and you see figure 5, you see this inscription from Yves Pastre, 2 of them, in fact, right? And if you go to the next slide, you'll see there's a screenshot from a really cool video somewhere on YouTube about the Hydra 5 mission. And it lists the oceanauts, as they called them. You got 4 from Comex, and then Marine Nationale had 2 of their divers in on this mission. And J.G. Marcel Auda was one of those 5, or one of those 2 Marine Nationale divers. And here's a little photo, a snapshot of him wearing that watch on his wrist. Right. And so it's this very very rare unicorn mix of very coveted Comex watch, also issued to a Marine Nationale diver. It's pretty special. That was surface, and it's really a really amazing opportunity that this surfaced, and I think it's the first time it's really been published. And it was
I think so too. David was not impressed with the Rolex. I will admit, David, there is some Rolex fatigue out there, but if we were going to give any screen time to watch that is from them that's unique, I think this one is certainly worth it. But also, in the vein of unique watches, Scott, your book features something very special, something near and dear to my heart. my photo submission of my wrist check, which is the Tudor FXD LHD MOD by D and Friends, on none other than an NDC strap from Jacko, ndcstraps.com. This is, of course, the final page, the acknowledgement page. I am the photographer, owner of this watch, but this photograph was taken during the eclipse from about a year and a half ago, and it captured it just perfectly. We could see the MN logo on the special edition strap partnership you did with Jacko at ndcstraps.com, and I am overjoyed to be included in the tome, sir.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate all of your support over the years, D, and this photo is amazing. First of all, and the strap, I think it was made for that watch, right? I mean, just the little pop of red, the logo, of course, the NDC, like the nice touches, and just the original material is just it all came together. And then, of course, on this very special configuration that you pioneered. So very much appreciate your support, and it's a great photo to cap off the book.
And even better, Jacko is indeed available. Jacko, I just emailed you the link. If you want to click on it, we'll bring you on screen to say hello. This photography, this moment of collaboration, technically between the three of us, would not be possible without you. He says that he's got a shiny head and cluttered man cave. Completely all right, sir. Go ahead and check the main email of yours, and the link is in there. If you just follow that link, it would be absolutely an amazing pleasure to have you on stage with us, sir. As we switch over, I'll keep looking for you in the lineup, Jacko.
While he's coming in, I'll just mention that one cool thing people seem to like is at the end of the book, I kind of created a Registre style index, so people could figure out, kind of see patterns and numbers and serials, and kind of. So the thought was that it might be helpful to collectors in the future if they're looking at a watch and trying to figure out where it fits in.
Yeah, that's amazingly cool. I didn't know that was that. But I think that's wonderfully good to have that as well. While we await the joining of our good buddy Jacko, reminder to everyone who's still along for the ride: we are doing a giveaway today of one of these books, and all you have to do is have to have been present through the stream. So if you're in the stream listening to it, that's the caveat. We wanted to do a special giveaway with folks who are actually live with us. We're certainly grateful for the viewers who are watching this on another, in the future, that is to say. But wanted to do something special for that. We have a couple questions here. We'll field some questions.
Yeah.
Do you have multiple books? I think Don's a friend of the channel, a watch buddy of mine, and I think he joined a little bit late. So we'll go ahead and feature those books you have there.
3 books. This is the latest one. I think. This is the kind of the first Marine Nationale book. It really tells the story, and it focuses on 34 of my watches. The second one has 175 examples of other MN watches. And then, of course, before that, the vintage ZRC book, which is a bit shorter and a more technically focused book, but it was my first foray into publishing the book, and it's helped me build up the confidence to the later editions.
Yeah, I'm just chatting the thing to Jacko via WhatsApp as well, sir. Sure. I'm dying to get on the screen with the two of you. That'd be so much fun. Yeah. Okay, so what has been the feedback from the actual folks who sent in photos? Because I can tell you this, because there was a special email link that you had sent out to people who had contributed, and we got to know in advance that we made it in. But I just, we'll come back to that. I just noticed, welcome to the stage, the #1 son of ndcstraps.com. In this corner, Jacko.
Hey, Jacko.
Hi, Scott. Hi, Dee. And good evening, everyone. This is, as you may or may not know, I don't really do many public things, but
I'm very grateful.
Scott and Dee are good friends, and I couldn't resist tonight with my cluttered man cave. I'm even torch coughing tonight.
Bring it. What do you have? What's your wrist check, sir? Go ahead. What do you got?
Okay, so the FXD on a very rare red stripe with original printed.
Love it.
There
You know
go.
what,
See?
Jacko, I know you
Yep.
love left-hand drive watches just as much as me, mate. All you have to do is drop the dial, drop the movement, swap the dial, and you can be in the club.
I've already got a quote for it for a watchmaker, and I am. This is another unknown fact because I'm not out there, but I do actually collect lefties.
Lefties.
Yeah. Here's my other wrist. What
do you got?
Oh yeah.
This actually features in this incredible book.
Yeah, it's
By
actually
this
right
lovely fella called Scott.
Oh, right on.
Tag Hoyer.
Is that a night diver?
It is.
It is. Yeah.
Yep.
We might even
Brilliant.
be able to get that.
Yeah, this one's
Ooh.
this one was great. It's actually it actually has an inscription on the inside from Yves
What?
Pastre, which
Oh, he
is
does?
really,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, right on. So, Jacko,
Yes,
being
sir.
that I like to put you on the spot, are you willing to adopt my catchphrase and put it on the website?
Well,
Proper dive watch, proper dive strap.
yeah. I mean, I haven't discussed this, but firstly, thank you, Dee. I have noticed, I believe, every single time you've mentioned it, and every single time you mentioned it, I've thought that's wonderful, and I would really like to thank Dee. But I'm not. I think you two know this, but it's not public. But you know that I have some neurodiversity issues, which, along with a very full-time job that we're not going to mention here, NDC straps is a hobby that turned into a rather big situation. So thank you, Dee. And yes, I love the phrase, and I will put it on my website. So
I think I've proven that consistent. Cheers, my friend. I think that I've proven that in all marketing efforts, consistency is key. You know, if I just keep saying it, he's just going to start typing it one day, and I will have won my case for writing myself into the history of ndcstraps.com.
yes,
Proper dive watch, proper dive strap.
yes, I love it.
I saw a Instagram post. I don't know which one of you gentlemen put it up. I think it may have been you, Jacko, but the two of you were hanging out, either having a beer or a cup of coffee somewhere, and my jealousy just rose into I was like, why can't I get on a plane and go join those dudes?
Well,
That's a good time.
if I may, Scott.
Yes.
I've never met Scott in person, but we have spoken for, I don't know, probably a couple of years or more, probably more now, on WhatsApp and some video calls. And then Scott said, I'm coming to London. Do you want to hook up? And I was like, of course I do. So I think by the time we'd ended the WhatsApp chat, I'd already booked the hotel in London and told the wife. And then
That's amazing.
Is that echoing?
Just a touch, but it's not bad, brother. It's not bad.
So yeah, we did meet up. We did do some chatting. We did some walking in the rain. We ate at a lovely tapas restaurant.
This sounds like a fabulous date. Please invite me next time.
The only sad thing is that Scott being jet lagged, he called it a day. So I did what I could only do, which was I went on a crawl of lots of cocktail bars on my own.
We are getting a bit of echo now, sir. I think you might have I think your mic is coming in twice, perhaps. But
Right, my mic.
that would be absolutely amazing. So, Scott, next time you're going to London, do let me know in advance. I'm not well traveled. If you've watched any of my Germany videos with Tristano and Russ, you'll see that I was a little worse for the wear from. Go ahead, try your audio, Jacko.
How's that?
Oh, much better, sir. You're well done. Yeah, no, I had some fun times in Germany. I also had some rough times in Germany, but it was absolutely life-changing. So I say all that to say that if we want to storm London, Scott, and just camp out in Jacko's home, I'll totally do that for a week, right? Jacko's on board. He semi-invited us. But Jacko, you are... It felt like an invite. I will rewatch.
I'm not sure there's enough room at Jackson Towers, but I can see what I can do.
Gosh, I would stay in the local hostel just to hang out with you two. So, Jacko, I don't know if you saw the beginning part. We're actually doing a giveaway of one of the books today to one lucky viewer who's been along in the chat. And I first want to say a great deal of thanks to Scott for doing that. But I also owe it to everyone who's been in the chat to tell them what I like to call the phrase that pays. And it's time to do that. Apologies to anyone who's seeing this in the future who didn't get to jump in, but you had to have been a viewer during the live and chatted, contributed to the little chit chat in order to be a winner. And I actually did put that into the description before we went live. So the phrase that pays is, yo, D, I'm in the XYZ. XYZ is your country. We need to know where we're shipping to. Yo, D, I'm in the XYZ. I need some Watchistry. Hook me up, brother. So that is the phrase that pays. So if you are in the live chat, you are automatically eligible. If you're interested in winning the book, by all means, write me a comment in the formal comments section of the video. It's going to post in, it only takes a few minutes to post after we're done. And then I will wait a little bit for, a couple entries to come in, and we'll do the drawing, and then we'll circle back and we'll award it to you. Excuse me. And Scott will ship it directly to you. So very grateful to you, Scott, for doing that. Yeah. And as I always like to do at the end of a video, since we're drawing to a close, I want to give Scott the microphone, the last word. Oh, yeah, he's got his.
All right.
So yeah, so Jacko is not eligible to win. He already has one, and I have one here. But that's how you do it. So I want to give Scott a moment to plug anything he'd like to plug. I would also like to give that mic to Jacko afterwards. Oh, real quick to everyone in the comments, you don't have to enter the phrase that pays in the live comment stream, but rather in the description comments. You know how when you regularly post a comment after watching a video, post it over there for me, because it's easier for me to manage through there because I can see it readily apparent. So Scott, you are up first, my good man, once I can get this sorted. Yes. The mic's yours for any final thoughts, anything else you want to plug, all that sort of thing, sir.
Thank you again, Dee, for the just all the support over the years and the time. And this is my first podcast really sharing the live stream, sharing the story of how Registre came to be. So I really appreciate that it was here that I got to share that. And again, thanks to the collectors that showed up to make this book possible. 75 collectors, 175 watches of theirs that were in their collections, that they trusted me to share all the details about their watch there. And I really appreciate that. So yeah, thank you again. And I think we'll see how this turns out, and maybe, who knows, maybe there's another edition in the future.
I think there is, because I think you've started the ball rolling, for the lack of a better phrase, and now once it gets out there and out there and out there, it's going to attract more people. You've clearly been vetted by the watch community, so to speak, in that you've got the provenance, you've got the other two books. If I was someone who had one of these watches, I would love to be in the book. Clearly, I wanted to be in the book with this watch, right? So the book is available Amazon.com. Is it on the native Amazon site in the UK, Amazon.co.uk as well?
It's on a few other Amazon country-specific sites. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the Registre book that's on there. We've got the first Marine Nationale book. Is the ZRC book there as well, or is that proprietary to your website?
It seems to be mostly available on Amazon US for some reason, but if you're itching to get that, message me and I'll figure out how we can do that.
So the Amazon links are in the description below, as is Scott's native website, Watchistry.com, for all of his information. That is also his Instagram handle if you want to check him out and follow him, because he's clearly blazing a path. So with that, I now want to hand the microphone to none other than NDC's number one son, Jacko. It is so great. I want to say thank you. Jacko is on London time, so it's almost Betty Bye time. I don't know if those are your pajamas, but he may very well have joined in pajamas. But Jacko is a friend of the channel. And funny enough, we actually met on another channel's live stream. And I was such a dum-dum that I didn't realize when he had his NDC signs in the background, oh, I wonder how he knows the NDC people. So it's with pride that I had the NDC flag made and am flying it. And because I am such an amazing fan of the strap, and you've been a gentleman and a pal since day one. So what's going on in your world? Is there anything happening at NDC Straps you'd like to share? You're very generous to have given us a discount code. All of the discount codes are up at the channel level. So Jacko has been a partner of the channel and a friend. The floor is yours, sir, to add anything you might want to.
So quite simply, thank you for having me on. I'm not one to be out there, as I said, but it's very enjoyable to come on, say hello, and be with both of you. I have been in the industry in the backgrounds for many years and a collector of watches for over 40. I have been a fan of what Scott does, and very briefly, if you're watching this thinking, I'm not sure about this book or what's it all about, just go and check out the reviews on Amazon. Scott is not only a very intelligent, very kind, friendly and generous man, but his knowledge and the way he has put this book together is nothing short but of incredible. It is. So congratulations, Scott, because your other books are great, but this one I feel it just is incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's absolutely well spoken, my friend. We are experiencing a touch of echo, but you know what? I love hearing my voice so much. Hearing it twice is a pleasure. So, you know what? I might just let echo happen from here forward, because why not, right?
It's my fault.
We've got a good comment from Connor. Keep these live shows coming, D. Happy to do it. I love the show, and Dr. Doc's show is great too. That's right. I had Dr. Miller on. Scott, you may know some of his work.
Yes, yeah.
These live shows are quite a pleasure to do, and it's like, gosh, I legit want to have a beer in a pub with the two of you. I don't care if I have to get the Hobby of Hours jet and fly it over to. Could you imagine if I had my own jet? Yeah.
I hadn't finished. I was with Scott.
Sorry, mate.
I just wanted to mention you. That's all right, mate. It would be a pleasure if you came over this way, obviously, and if Scott was here, a bonus. But anybody who's watching this, and when we put this video out there to try and get some attention to Dee's channel, Hobby of Hours, there are many watch YouTube channels out there. But I have to say, and I watch a lot and have watched a lot, but Dee is just such a genuinely different, entertaining, clever YouTuber that if you're not watching this channel, I just don't understand why not. And if I knew how to get your channel out there more, I would, because genuinely, Dee, you are genuinely a really funny guy, but you're really bright as well. And you make me smile. Your favorite video, my favorite video that you did, was when you put the lyrics of, and now I'm going to embarrass myself because I've forgotten the song, but you did a song and you were walking across the screen and back to a hip hop song. What was it, Dee?
I've done several. You down with NDC? Yeah, you know
yes.
me.
Yes.
You down with NDC?
Yeah, you know me. That made me laugh so much.
You were my first entry into the foray of singing. I love to sing, I just can't. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to.
You're so creative, and you need to be given much more space out there. So let's try and everybody share this channel. And thank you so much for having me on, Scott. It's always great to see you. You're looking really well, my friend. And Dee, the same. Thank you for thank you for supporting me, because you've supported me, and it is a pleasure to try and support you where I can.
Oh,
We're
thank
all
you,
part
sir.
of this community, and
You've been very kind, and it's just been an absolute joy since day one, Jacko. And same goes for you, Scott. It's just been I got to visit Scott in San Francisco and do some episodes. Just a joy when you get to share this hobby with people who are cool and who are just looking towards the fun of the hobby and not some of the other stuff that can be carried on with it. It's just amazing to have made friends literally across the miles and the pond in this wonderful, beautiful hobby of ours. And with that beautiful sentiment, Jacko, I want to say thank you for joining the stream. Thank you for all that you do. Scott, sir, thank you not only for the books, but thank you for including my watch. I was if my mom was still alive, I still don't think she would care, because she hated talking about watches. But I would have to point my finger to where my name shows up in it, and then maybe she would have put it on the fridge. But gentlemen, I applaud you. I thank you for your friendship and your watchdom. Thank you to everyone who came along in the chat. Live streams are meant to engage with you, and having you there to engage is an amazing thing. Don't forget, if you want to win one of these amazing books, you had to have been here on the ride with us. And then write me the phrase that pays in the regular comment section. I will get you sorted out. Gentlemen, thank you for being a part of this wonderful, beautiful hobby of ours. Hope that wherever you are, you're doing well, that you're blessed, you're enjoying watches, and you are most definitely buying watch books. We will catch you in the next one. Peace!
Bye.